guys, we have had 3 rainy days. I was worried for a little bit. I'll show you why in a minute, but take a look at this pond. It did its job. So all the water that comes through that gate from the 3 properties above us comes right into here. Now before this berm was here, it used to go right out and just erode this pasture like crazy. I don't know if you remember a couple years ago when we had all those rains. It was not the same as it is now. And so it did its job by collecting all of that water and not allowing it to come down in the pasture. So you can see we have 0 erosion. Unfortunately, the corral is going to need to be fixed a little bit. It has some low spots and it's pretty wet in here. There's a big puddle right there. So I think at some point have Bill dump a big load of dirt in here and I can spread it out just to get it up a little bit. It's pretty wet right there too. But everyone looks all right. Bella, hi, come here. Hi. You're a mess. You look better than you did this morning though. All right, you guys want your food. I may have little time to film right now. I just talked to my mom and it just started pouring at her house and she's literally just right over those mountains, so it could be blowing the other way though. But thank you to everyone for your response on the last video. I'm glad so many of you got a lot out of it. I'm going to try to do more videos like that when something's on my mind, on my heart, because I do get a good response of people saying that it helps you. So at the same time it's helping me. If it's helping others, that's just cherry on top. We've actually gotten a lot done since I last had a video. Bill was here twice actually, and he was working in the future English formal garden to clear the dirt out. I'll show you a before picture. And this is what it looks like now. This front of the house, front yard I guess you'd call it, is it looks a lot bigger. So again, there will be a 12-foot wide flower bed, 12-foot wide lawn, 12-foot wide flower bed, and it will run 60 feet, or they will run 60 feet down this way. Now what he did with that dirt is a couple things. He pushed it all out here to make this spot. We're at the vegetable garden right now, so below here, he pushed that way out there. We were worried about erosion with the rain, so we put about 80 something sandbags along there with tarps going down the side so that the water wouldn't just kind of run, so that the water wouldn't just wash all of that loose dirt down into the neighbor's property. And looks like it was successful. He also continued the path this way along what will be next month our vineyard. So the bottom of that right there, he filled that all in. Again, we have sandbags here to protect the berm that now goes off the end there. So to protect that berm long term, we have to build it up a little bit more, especially over there. So the problem with heavy rains is that all the water comes down this way and ends up flooding my lower neighbor's property. And they've dealt with that for years. And so in building up this area out here, we're getting what we want, which is a little bit larger place to do things over there. But we're also going to have a berm so that water in a heavy winter rain will collect. Now to keep those berms in place when storms like this come through, we're going to plant it heavily with, I think my choice right now is ice plant. It's pretty vigorous. It creates like a mat, and it holds the dirt in place. At some point in that berm, probably toward this side of it, I'll have a drain that's going to be fixed in there so that when the water gets to that end, it will go down and it'll be taken out to the street. That is the low end of the property, and we don't have really a way to catch that rain, unfortunately. Something else I did was in the tropical garden. I dug the beds, I don't know, several months ago, and they've just kind of been sitting there empty. Well, we finally filled them up with compost. You can see I've got, well, I cleaned this out. Remember, this used to be all gingers in here and a couple of elephant ears, taro. I put those in here. The gingers around the back. I've got 2 red bananas that I've had in pots forever, some cannas. So all this is planted up now. Well, it's not done, but I've got a couple of plumerias, one there, one over there. So yes, I have been busy. Oh, I have my Vigo beds in here. I've had them sitting here for a while. We put them together, but I had to bury part of them in the ground because this is a slope down, and so I wanted them to sit level and not slope. So I had to dig the upper ends of each of them in. Now I've got this compost here, and I'll be emptying those sandbags when we're done with them and mixing that in there to make a really well draining mix, because I'm going to be putting dragon fruit and pineapple in those. So food, but tropical. In the cottage garden, I have been working to clean out all of the beds. So this is done. That side is almost done. The front here is almost done. The big ones in the back still need to be done. But it's just too wet and squishy in there right now to get in. So we're gonna have to hold off on that for a few days. I pruned this pear tree way back, and this one over here as well. And then once I'm done with all this, I'll come in with compost and give it a good 2-inch layer of compost to help feed the soil for this coming season. All right, from this angle, you can kind of see more of this area we've been flattening out. So there's still a strip here that needs to be taken down. So Bill will do that on his next visit. I think Bella just saw the pond for the first time. Is that weird? Is that weird? So you can see what I was talking about before. This side is a lot lower than this side. You can see the water level here. So even if we bring this up to the top, you know, it's probably going to come to about right there. So I'm going to have to build in a lot of interest here on this side. We might put a little more dirt on this berm and bring it up just a little bit more, but ultimately that side's still going to be higher. Hey everybody, look who's here. It's Joel. So I think I mentioned in the video yesterday that we were going to be putting dragon fruit and pineapple in these beds here, because we're in the
pineapple.
Huh?
You didn't say pineapple.
I said it to them.
Oh. No.
So, because we're in the tropical garden, so we're going to add some edibles other than these beautiful Monstera deliciosas.
Edibles in California means something else.
True. But that's not tropical, is it?
I'm sure it grows everywhere. That's why they call it weed.
So basically what dragon fruit need are really well draining soil and some kind of a trellis structure to climb up. So that's what we're doing here. We're going to do the traditional post up the middle and then something around the top that they can kind of grow up the post, and then as they go out that way they have something to lay on. So we have a 4x4 post for each of these beds, and then we'll build the top part later. Right now I just want to get these in here so I can get the mix in here and then get them planted, because I've had them for like a year and a half and they need to be planted bad.
Again.
All right, all the posts are in. here. The lighting's so good here. This is where I film most of my stuff.
Sitting right there?
Because you got all the brightness of this and the darkness behind you, and so we look really handsome.
That's a tall ask.
Look at that. No wrinkles.
No wrinkles.
Nothing.
Can it give me hair?
I don't know. Take off your hat. Let's see if there's magic. Nope. We have a story to tell you. So we needed 2 bags of cement to put these posts in. And I knew I had one up in the cottage from a project before, so we bought one.
You did not have one up in the cottage from
I
a
had
project
stucco.
before.
On the way home, though,
Hence the adventure.
tell them.
Oh, go ahead. It's your channel. We went and got some stakes here, well, the 4x4s, and a bag of cement to put this stuff in. And so on the way back, we're driving, and we look at this intersection, and hey, there's a bag of cement over there. Too bad we just bought one. And in the back of my mind, I thought, no, we should still go get it, but I'm not driving. So we come back here, and he goes, yeah, hey, I got to go get that other bag of cement. And he goes in there, and turns out it's stucco. So I said, hey, maybe that bag of cement is still there. So we go back, and wouldn't you know it, that bag of cement was still there. So we were able to finish.
Hey guys, it's been a few days. Tomorrow is Emily's dad's funeral, and so this week's kind of been up and down, and I've just been doing a lot of work outside still just to kind of keep peace in my heart and soul. But I haven't filmed a lot of it. But I've done a lot, so let me show you. I just finished right now. Well, it's not finished. There's still some junk laying around, but I weeded, cleaned out almost the entire cottage garden. I actually redid the drip. The drip I put in a couple of years ago, I just wasn't happy with it. It was kind of a bunch of different things put together, and it left bare spots. It left spots that were too dry. It left spots that were way too wet. So I ended up replacing it with 1/2 inch drip tube that just has emitters in it every 12 inches. And then I went ahead and mulched over that with mushroom compost. Is it just me, or does, like, when you put compost down, it looks almost as good as just when it's full of plants? It just looks so clean. This section here It was really hard, it was really wide, and it was difficult to get into and maintain in the summertime. And so I added this flagstone path through there, so now there's just kind of a bed to take care of on each side of that path. In getting in here and taking all the weeds out, I noticed I had sweet peas that had just kind of seeded themselves. They were on this last year, and they seeded themselves around. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 little teepees that I just kind of gathered them together, put a teepee around them, trained them up, and that should give us a nice little show. I also planted some ranunculus that I started. I actually pre-sprouted them a few weeks ago. I put them in these trays and let them pre-sprout. And then yesterday I potted up all of these pots with ranunculus, and they're all the same mix. They're the romantic mix. So I'm keeping them up by the house to keep the rabbits away from them, and just so I don't forget to water them. But they'll be kind of placed up maybe on the stairway here, or just in through the cottage garden once they're up and blooming. So yeah, we finished the 3 beds for the pineapple and dragon fruit. Gonna take you up to the orchard. Oh, I just noticed today the acacias are starting to bloom. I love it. They're so pretty when they start to bloom. So all these trees here will be covered in that in just a couple of weeks. And I'll bring you up here and show you the orchard. We've got grass coming up. I didn't even plant it, but just because of the rains. But a lot of the trees have either bloomed and are putting on leaves, or they're just starting to bloom. So I don't know how long or short this video ended up being. Like I said, the funeral's tomorrow, and I'm hoping to get back to somewhat of a normal life after that. You know, it's been, I think, a month tomorrow since he died. So it's a long span between then and now to have to kind of not really have that closure. I don't know if a funeral gives you closure, but at least it's a piece of the puzzle. So that's it for this video. I'll see you next time.